Welcome back. Big John here, talking you through phase two of this Fort Walton Beach, Florida acquisition. So, as promised, we wanted to walk through this. Phase two for us was the rehab and the refinance. And we're actually at the end stage of this right now, which we'll touch on as we get to it. Now, this first part, I actually realized I should have mentioned in part of phase one as we were actually doing that initial closing. We did do a few minor repairs that we just had a handyman come out and take care of there at the property. But regardless, we wanted to point that out. That's still another point where someone was able to step in, do some work for us, and they got paid. In every phase of this, somebody's getting paid. Now, our initial plan for the property was to do just a very light rehab, just some new paint, new floors, just very minor updates. When we had the contractor go out and give us a bid, we had two contractors go, and we actually really liked the bid for the worker who chose to kind of really go above and beyond. He said, hey, if you wanted to do some extra renovations, this is what it could look like. He showed us kind of a digital projection of what the new area may look like with the new floors, and even we added on updating the kitchen and the master bathroom in particular, but also the spare bathroom. So the bathrooms were updated, the kitchen was updated, we got new appliances in the kitchen, and his bid for all of that was $42,000. Actually just shy, but anyway, basically $42,000, and we didn't have that again. So what did we do? Well, we really liked it because we were looking at comps in the area, other comparable properties that have sold. It looked like that 42,000 was really going to help boost our after repair value, or ARV, or after renovation value, up about 80,000. So to spend 42 and get 80, that sounded like a pretty good return to us. So we wanted to go ahead and do that. And we already had one PML and we're able to use it. But now this one, we brought in a second private money lender for this. Now what we were initially looking for was the 42,000 for the rehab, and then about another 3,000 to help cover holding costs while it's getting repaired and is not yet rented or in the market. And so we're looking for a total there of about 45,000. What we were able to do is we had some capital that we were able to help deploy, which gave us some skin in the game, and then also helped one of our friends, another Owners Club member, Josh Smith, that he and his wife were able to do some lending, which they sometimes do. So they funded the rest of that for us. Now, what we arranged was a 4-month term with them, and they would get back a flat 10%. Now, as a nice bonus for them, it actually looks like we're going to be getting this done ahead of schedule. So they're actually going to get that 10% in just about 3 months. So, which that's really what we want to do. We want to, one, make sure we communicate well with our lenders as to what's going on, but also we always want to overperform when we have that opportunity. So Josh came in, lended the 22,500. We are then going to be paying back the extra 10%. Again, planning to do that ahead of schedule. And that was extra good since we didn't get to do one of our common things. It's always important. So please hear this when you're watching this. It's always important that you have something to help give you some security and safety, especially if you're lending. Okay, now typically we would want all the funds to go through the escrow and the title company. This was an exception to that. It's not what I would typically recommend. Fortunately, Josh and I had a relationship that we've known each other in this investing group for about a year at this point. We've gotten to meet several times, gotten to see his wife, see his kids a little bit, and so we had a little bit of a relationship. But what you may need, some collateral of some sort. You may need a personal guarantee. Always make sure you invest safely. I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole here. Watch the safety course, watch the ethics course in the Sub-2 Vault. You'll be able to get so much more from just what I'm saying here. But invest safely. So anyway, back to this. So after getting the rehab funded, of course, had the rehab done, it's completed now. We've now just gotten the appraisal done. We actually don't have the results back yet, so that's why I had this vertical dotted line. So this last part is just really a projection that we came up with, that we don't have the official appraisal back yet. Now, so where are we going next? We're putting this into a new loan. We're going to use a DSCR loan, a debt service coverage ratio loan. You may have seen my other video where I briefly talked about this. And what we're projecting right now is that we're going to get a 75% cash out refinance for this, and that with the after repel value being boosted, we think the new home's value is about $280,000. So we said, well, 75% of 280 is $210,000. Now, as much as I would love to just have that much cash in my pocket, that's not how this is going to work. We have to first repay these other debts that are outstanding. So the very first thing that's going to get paid off is the current mortgage, which is just shy of $100,000 now. It was a little bit over when we first made the purchase and took over the payments subject to that existing mortgage. But now that we've made a few months payments during this rehab process, it's actually just under $100,000. So that gets paid off first. We also are repaying, again, our private money, second private money lender, paying Josh back. So he's getting back his original funds plus that flat 10% fee. And again, we're doing that ahead of schedule, which we're just really excited about. It is going to take some costs. You know, the appraisal has costs, and we're going to do a new closing with the debt service coverage ratio loan, our DSCR loan. But we're expecting to have, with the cash out, about $78,000 afterward, which is going to be great. Now, with the debt service coverage ratio loan, that was really made possible from Jada Thoele. She was one of multiple lenders that I've talked with, but we just really had a great conversation with her, connected with her. One of the things that, as an investor, that I really liked about Jada and how she structures her loans and her DSCR products is that she was able to do the loan sooner, where some companies were requiring a 6-month seasoning period. Jada's terms were sooner than that. She said she can usually do them in 3 months, and maybe even has, depending on the situation, some flexibility. So if you need a debt service coverage ratio loan for one of your properties and able to pull some cash out and redeploy it for your next project, you know, go find Jada. She'll be tagged in the video here, so she can help you out and get you some great information and some great assistance. Now, you may remember from the first video, we also had a private money lender there. If you haven't seen it, go back, check out the phase 1 video. But that debt was structured differently. That was a long-term note, and we're actually going to be keeping that note in place. We're not paying that back with this $78,000. What we are going to do is we're going to make sure we keep some held aside. We're going to hold some back so that we are prepared for other maintenance, capital expenditures that may come up, other holding costs while we're waiting to get it rented, or even have vacancy between renters. So we want to make sure that the property is very secure and able to perform for us for a long time. So hopefully, seeing now this phase 1 of the acquisition, phase 2 of the rehab and the refinance, you've got a little bit better idea of what it can be like to take a project from seller all the way through closing and rehab and getting it into a debt service coverage ratio loan. So I hope you really have enjoyed this. Now, maybe you have a lead and you want to help send that over. Please do it. We're glad to help with that. If it's especially, I'm currently focusing in the Tennessee and Florida markets, but I have friends who invest nationwide. So if you want to send it over, I'm happy to help forward that on. Also, if you are in need of a title and escrow company, that you want to make sure knows how to correctly service this type of transaction so that you're having a creative deal, whether it's seller financing, subject to, maybe a hybrid with a little bit of both. And you want to make sure it's all done smoothly. Well, good news. We have Creative Title and Escrow as a common partner for us in this space, and they are in most of the states at this point. Depending on when you're watching this video, they may be in all 50 states, but they are a great partner for all of our subject to transactions and are really building their momentum very quickly. And I just look forward to seeing what Creative Title and Escrow will be able to do for the investing community in the future. So thanks again for watching. Love for this to get a share or a follow. And until next time, let's go and let's grow.